Okay. Then, hello again. My name is Philipp. I was one of the guys who started FauDroids. And FauDroids is not a startup, so this is not a startup pitch. I'm not trying to sell me anything. I'm just trying to show you what we did in the last year, what startup is, who participated, and some of the stuff that we learned from it. So, yeah, first of all, what is FauDroids? FauDroids is a challenge that a friend of mine started back in 2015 in January. So we're just two people in the beginning, and the motto of the challenge was 12 months, 12 Android apps. So the idea is that for 2015, for every month, we did one Android app, we made it open source on GitHub, and we published the result on the Google Play Store. Who is FauDroids, or who was FauDroids? We were 6 people over the course of the year. Sometimes just one person working on a project, sometimes 4 people. 5 of those guys are computer science guys. So me, obviously, Simon is currently doing image processing. Julia is also doing image processing in MIT in the US at the moment. Richard is doing computer security, penetration testing. I don't know if anybody knows that. Matthias, probably a lot of you guys know, he's added some direly needed business flavor to the cake. And we also have Marcel, who's also doing computer science stuff, security related. So the 12 apps, here you can see them in all their glory. That's a screenshot from the Google Play Store, and the colors are really horrible, by the way. For the rest of the talk, I'm going to not go over those apps in detail. So some of them, yes, but not all of them. But now I just wanted to really quickly tell you what they are. So starting on top right, Mr. Hyde. Does anybody know Jekyll? Jekyll, the blogging software? Yes? Oh, that's really awesome. Because last time I asked, nobody knew what Jekyll was. So really cool. Mr. Hyde is a Jekyll client for your phone, for GitHub. So if you're doing GitHub pages in Jekyll, you can use Mr. Hyde to do some quick changes. Werewolf is the card game Werewolf. So the party game, where you have different roles, you have to close your eyes during the night. Now you have a substitute for your cards if you don't have them. Board Rudolph was kind of a joker, as a really small thing. It's probably if you have your email client, you can usually pull down from the top, and you see this little spinner, which is showing you that the app is loading. Board Rudolph is that, except it replaces the spinner with a game. So you can play a game while you're waiting for your email to load, for example. Keep On is a running app, Tripper the weather app, obviously. Cyclocate, I'll talk about that in details. Box Club is a game, again. It's a game where you have to take your phone like this, and you can do like left hook, right hook, and you have to fight a robot. Babyface is, I'll also talk about that. It does time-lapse videos for babies, or for anybody, but particularly for babies. MyAdvent, online advent calendars. So I hope advent calendars, everybody knows that. I don't know what the English word is, advent calendars. Wiesenfind.me, I'll also talk about that. Teamblocks, multiplayer Tetris, not boring multiplayer, awesome multiplayer. And Flip the Pairs is a multiplayer version of Memory. But I'll get to that. So yeah, the way the rest is going to work, I prepared some sort of lessons learned. These are lessons learned that we learned for FauDroids, for ourselves. So they might apply to startups, might not apply to startups, but hell, I'll just tell you about them. First one is, a product is never really finished, it's just good enough at some point. This is something that we learned in the very first month already. In the first month we did this one. This was Flip the Pairs multiplayer memory game where you can connect multiple phones and tablets and you have like this giant memory game and you can tap on those cards and eventually it matches the cards and then they're also a typical memory game. So nothing really big, we just wanted to start really, really slow to make sure that we could really deliver on a promise for January. We actually finished on time, so I think on the 31st of January it was published on the Google Play Store, so that was good. But then we showed it to our families and friends and they kind of liked it and we received some good feedback and then we got really, really excited that we had our first app in the App Store, which was awesome. So we spent another 7 days just building something for it. So we had better server structure, better integration with more devices and who knows what. That was super fun. But looking at February only has 28 days and there are also exams in it, was not a good idea. So the next app, kind of also got finished, but obviously a lot less work. So the big lesson from FauDroids is sometimes, or especially in FauDroids, if the month is over, you have to finish it and you have to go to the next app. There's just simply no time to do something more on the old app. Second really important thing also specific to FauDroids, simple things are really awesome. One of the apps that we built was for our cafeteria in Erlangen, for the Südmensa. If you've ever been to Südmensa, it's a little bit bigger. It's not huge, but it's a little bit bigger. And finding peers in that Mensa is kind of a pain. So typically how it works is you sit down at the table, then you take out your phone, take out your camera, take a picture of your table and the surrounding area and send it to somebody else so they can try to guess where you're sitting. And we try to automate that. And our first thought was, okay, how are we going to do this? We're going to build a platform where you can invite friends, you can invite your colleagues. So you have to sign up, so you have to do like a sign up similar to WhatsApp, so it's as simple as possible. In addition, we want to add some doodle functionality so we can easily choose the time when to meet. So this huge system, everything good? So this huge system with lots of functionalities, and our head was really spinning trying to figure out how to put those functionalities in just 4 weeks. And so eventually somebody just said, just do this. This is a lot simpler. This is an app which has a map of the cafeteria, so that's over there. You have a share button, so you can select the location where you're sitting. You can't see this, but those are tables. Beamer really is bad. You can select the share button, and then it just makes a screenshot basically, and you can send the screenshot over WhatsApp to your friends. Super simple. This was the simplest app we built in all of FauDroids, and we actually had time to do something else, which was really cool, and it solved the problem. So the simpler it is, the better it is. Oh yeah, happy customers, by the way. Next one, no just means you haven't asked the right people. Going back to the map over there, we needed to get the map from somewhere. Originally we went to the cafeteria and took some pictures of it and tried to draw the map ourselves. That didn't really work. It kind of did, but it's not that much fun. Then we went to the management of the cafeteria at different levels. So we started at the waiters, then we went to the middle management, top management, asked them if they could help us. We wanted to do a really simple app, open source, non-profit, everything good. And everyone just said, no, not going to do it, no interest. They would be responsible and somehow, no, absolutely no interest. And so eventually we just went to the construction office in Erlangen, and they sent us the original floor plan of the entire university, including the cafeteria, for free, no questions asked. Here you go, of course. Pretty cool. And the best thing about this is you can't really see it right here, but you can see the hidden passageways on that as well, which is kind of cool. It's a little bit like Hogwarts.
Yeah, it's spooky.
Okay, this is the lowest point in FauDroids, not that fun. One of the apps that we built was Babyface. Babyface was the time-lapse videos for your babies, so it sends you a reminder every day that you have to take out your phone, you have to take a picture of me in that case, and then you can see or look at all the pictures and you combine them into a simple time-lapse video. So fairly straightforward. Also a nice feature on top of it, Simon put in some image recognition magic, so the face is always centered in the middle. So no matter if you go left or right a little bit, it's always centered. So that was kind of cool. The app took a little bit longer than we expected, so we actually spent 6 weeks working on it instead of just 4. The other 2 weeks we just stole from another app where we did a little bit less. And after 6 weeks, we found another app, which was about 3 years old, which is exactly what Babyface does, just all the UI, but otherwise every single feature is in there as well, and has about $5 million in Play Store. So we saw that was a real bummer. At the beginning, we did some search, of course. We tried to find competitors who were similar to this one. We didn't find it. 6 weeks later we did, and more or less in 24 hours all the motivation went from top all the way down to bottom, and we just sort of stopped developing and said, okay, no point in going any further, we're not doing anything new, let's just go on to the next step. So that also happens. Something else, if you don't know how to reach your users, don't build it. That's a little bit extreme, but the example comes from WiesenFindMe. WiesenFindMe, so that was the app that we built parallel to Babyface. That's why it's so small and that's why it's copied from Cyclocate. But the idea is you have a map of the Oktoberfest in general, and then also a map of the individual tents, and you can send pictures of that to your friends who are also at the Oktoberfest. So pretty straightforward. We thought the gain for each user is pretty obvious, so everybody should like it should be popular, and yada yada. We tried to do some marketing. That's what's about the time when Matthias, I think, joined in. Didn't go so well. I think you can tell the story a lot better. But
so basically everybody that used the app, who was totally convinced and said it's awesome, but at the same time, most people only visit Wiesn once. The time you can get to them, the time they publish, I'm going to be at the Wiesn, they are already there and drunk and will not download an app. So you cannot reach them except through the official channels. where they reach millions of people, and those charge loads of money. So we couldn't reach the customers in time, and I grinded Twitter and Instagram, and like one time I was super lucky, they posted a picture of themselves driving in the car towards Munich, which is when they still spend time on Instagram. So I answered, hey, try out our new app, and they were super happy about it, and they used it. But again, who doesn't selfie on their way to Oktoberfest? So that was really, that was sad.
Do you have reception at the Oktoberfest?
Sorry?
Do you have reception?
We didn't
Sometimes
get
no.
any complaints, but at the same time, you only need that little bit of like a signal for.
With no reception, there's no complaints.
And also no users, but yeah. So a lot of lessons. Another lesson learned was that if you have something where there's a fixed date when something starts, you really shouldn't finish on the last date. So I think our real release, not the prototype release, our real release was 2 hours after the Anstich. So yeah, you should really.
I mean, we even got some links at some blogs and like, I think 1 or 2 magazines also did some apps for the Oktoberfest thing where we were, but that's just not it. You need to go through the official channels if you want to be, or at directly on spot, like handing out flyers. But as it's non-profit and stuff.
Products shape company culture. Okay, that's very, very cheesy, but what it's trying to say is another app that we built was Keep On. Keep On is a sports app where you have different challenges. So one challenge would be, for example, to run the Route 66 like over a year or so. And what you can do is you can do individual runs, and then you can add them up to the challenge. And then at some point you're finished, and then you're like, yeah, I completed my challenge. Obviously in single player this is not very interesting. Our goal was to do it in multiplayer. We didn't get finished in 1 month, so we just did a single player for now. This is basically a prototype of what it could be in the future. And but in any case, the funny thing is when you build a sports app, obviously when you build any app, you have to test the app. You can do unit tests, integration tests, all this stuff. That's boring. The more interesting stuff is when you have to sort of live with the app. So you have to actually use it in your daily life. Using this in daily life means you have to do sports. So choosing the right app can actually shape sort of the way how your daily life works. So yeah, doing sports app actually is really cool. Next one. With great power comes great responsibility. Who knows where that's from? The quote. Say again?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? Okay. Because the internet did not know.
Obviously. Right before his uncle died or something? Yeah.
Spider-Man, okay. My Advent was the online advent calendar where you can upload photos, photos, text messages, and voice messages, and send a link like Doodle to other people. We actually started with a web page initially, and then did also an additional Android client because we had to do a tick behind our challenge. Funny thing about this one is, so that's an example of the calendar online. You have the 24 doors, of course. Different sizes because that's a big image, it's a small image, and so on and so forth. That was our most successful app. So here you can see some of the sort of growth charts that we had. So on the left one you have Fabric for the Google app, and in the middle one you have analytics for the website, and on the right one our internal status page where we track the number of calendars created. So 3,000 in total, but those are mostly empty. The interesting number is down here, which is right when we got over the 500 mark. So 500 calendars which have 20 or more pictures. In any case, the important part was that I think this is more or less the 1st of December, and starting from here, we were actually planning on doing a lot more development. So this is what we've been doing all year, developing, doing features, building apps, and so on and so forth. And right around the 22nd or so, all of a sudden there were users, and when users come, they really want a lot of stuff. There's a lot of support requests coming in, there are a lot of bugs all of a sudden you've never seen before, and we spent the last couple of days just fixing bugs, just answering emails, talking to people. And there was even the one story when Matthias called me at 6 in the morning on the 2nd December, telling me that his girlfriend found out that the second door does not open on any device. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That's when your heart starts racing, like.
I needed no coffee that morning.
That's also probably responsible for about half the emails that came afterwards, all saying, it doesn't open, we're all saying, yeah, it's fine now, check it again.
Just imagine like we had 700 unique users each day of December, like 700 people wanting to access their calendar. And on 2nd of December, it just didn't work. If you want to open your advanced calendar and it doesn't work, that's like it cannot happen with chocolate, but it can happen. So
it can happen with chocolate, that's true. Who knows JavaScript? Okay, okay, enough. In case you're interested, the reason was in JavaScript, the type system is sort of a little bit fuzzy. And the way that the doors worked, the door numbers were stored in objects, and those door numbers were strings. Turns out that string plus a numerical 1 equals concatenation of those two. So 1 plus 1 in that case was 11. So the 11th door would have actually opened, but the second door didn't open.
That's actually a Python problem.
As well?
Yeah, Python does the same thing to you.
Okay, this is absolutely horrible. It doesn't even tell you about it.
That's what types are.
Yeah. Okay, that's almost the end of the presentation. Love the people that support you. Especially in FauDroids, it was all non-profit. We didn't make a single cent from it. It was sometimes hard to explain to people why you're doing it, why you're spending so much time on something that might even not be used. So especially in the beginning, those apps were in use. But more importantly, it doesn't directly help you. But nevertheless, we had a lot of people who really support us, who were really there for us, who said, yes, it's okay that you spend another evening doing this stuff. And yeah, especially at the end of the year in December, take the time off, just be with those people and really thank them, because it's really important. I know it's cheesy, but yeah. So that's it. Questions? Lots of questions.
What do you plan to do this year?
Say it again?
What do you plan to do this year?
That is an excellent question, and we don't know yet. It's not going to be FauDroids again. The big problem with FauDroids was that you're really fixed on this 1 month mark, and just when you've got something which works, you're forced to do something else. And this is sometimes frustrating. It's good to cut off the garbage, to cut off the stuff that doesn't work, but sometimes you think something worse, and you want to continue that. So the goal is to sort of do FauDroids in a more startup manner. We haven't started yet, but we want to do small businesses more or less quickly. So like take 3 months or so, do one thing, see how it works, and then go on to the next thing. But it's not finalized in any way.